No, just thank you guys for coming. Excited about this class that we signed, and more to come. But really excited about these guys and the future of this program, the foundation of which we've laid and will continue to lay. And I feel like we're in a good place. So vibes are high. Boys are loving life, and just ready to keep getting better.
Start over here on the right, Aaron.
How game-changing is landing a quarterback like Bryce Underwood?
Oh, it's huge. He's an excellent player. Obviously, he has a great skill set, elite skill set, from the pocket, out of the pocket, deep ball, touch, intermediate, short. He's talked to me about different things we want to do with him to expand his game, and we'll do that. And but an exceptional leader, and he loves the game. He loves the grind. He loves to get better. The first question he asked me is like, "Coach, how late is the indoor open? How late can I be in the building?" Late as you want, buddy. So excited, very excited to get him here and get to work.
I think a lot of people on the outside look at maybe the investment you guys made in him and think maybe he should start day one. Do you subscribe to that?
Yeah, we're gonna work. That's all we're gonna do. And he wants to earn everything. He doesn't want to be given anything. So we're gonna work.
Reiner?
Yeah, you moved on obviously from Kirk. What's your vision for the offense going forward, especially now that you do have Bryce? Where do you see it going? And also marrying your smash mindset with the idea of having a high-profile quarterback.
Yeah, unfortunate, had to make a change, and felt that was the best direction we had to go. But offensively, want to be explosive in the run and the pass and balanced. That's as much as I'll give you right now. Going through that process of candidates, and we'll find the best one that fits us and fits this program that wants to be at Michigan. And obviously, they'll have a lot of tools at hand to use. So, we're excited for this journey.
Where do you see the passing game being able to kind of evolve, and how far you think you can take it?
Yeah, the passing game just depends on the game, depends on the defense. So we talked about it before. Sometimes we run it, sometimes we throw it. And the goal is to win. So we're gonna do everything we can to win and try to put more trophies in the trophy case. So that's what we're gonna do.
On the right, Larry?
Two-parter to be efficient. Number one, can you describe your contact with Bryce once you became head coach and how your relationship developed? I'll ask the second one later.
Yeah, I guess constant. Just wanting to be around, wanting to talk to him as much as I could, and the contact really didn't stop. So just try to build the relationship, and that's what this thing's all about. It's about relationships. So for us, wanted to build the strongest relationship we could to make him know that he's a priority and make him part of our program.
And Champion Circle mentioned that Larry Ellison got involved and shouted him out. To have someone with that kind of resources and not necessarily a direct tie to this university, to have him involved with something like this means what to you?
Yeah, I'm just very thankful for everybody that helps our program. That's really all I'll say about that.
Ryan?
What does this group of wide receivers bring, and how necessary was it to add size at that position?
Yeah, that was an emphasis for me. I really wanted to, for us, add size and length. Really haven't had a big 6'5" guy since Nico Collins, and we obviously had really good players that have played here, Roman Wilson, CJ, all those guys, but wanted some big guys, just your margin for area for a quarterback. It's just easier, right? You're throwing to Colston Loveland and A.J. Barner last year. You throw high to a 6'6" guy, it's different than throwing high to a 5'11" guy. So wanted to have that variance in our receiver room, and it felt like we got that with Jamar and Jacob. And Andrew Marsh is the runt, but he's 6'1", and he's dynamic with the ball in his hands. And I got to watch him live. He's as good as there is in the country from the wide receiver position. Jamar was very under-recruited, kind of happy that he was, because you watch his tape. I don't know what his rating was. I don't really care. But he's an elite player, and then Jacob as well. And we had Jacob in camp, and he great ball skills, great route runner, detailed, and a great kid. So I feel like we got really good in that room.
And how do you plan on managing the locker room in this new age of NIL age, where freshmen are going to be making more NIL money than maybe some of the guys already on the roster?
Yeah, I think for us it'll be, they're not necessarily making more. Some guys might make some guys might not make as much, but I think at the end of the day they're all going to earn what they get. A lot of guys are going to start to make more with revenue share and all those things when that comes in. So that's going to be a whole nother discussion when we start revenue sharing. We've already planned in place for all that. So all those guys know that. And we're going to, the number one thing is wanting to play for Michigan and keeping the culture of who we are and what we are here.
Left-hand side there.
Sticking with the revenue sharing stuff, with the House settlement, with set for preliminary approval in a few months, did your recruiting process change going into this year, knowing that you had to cut the roster size from 137 to 105? Did you have a certain number of guys in your head going into the process, and how was that process for your entire coaching staff different than probably previous years?
Yeah, I mean, you just know, like, you can't over-recruit. You can't go past a certain number. Like, we have a number that we can hit, and we're slotted at each position, how we want to hit that number. So absolutely, not necessarily completely different, but you got to be pretty strict on what you're doing because you got a limited number that you're bringing in.
Clayton.
You talk about wanting competition at every position. Could you bring in another quarterback through the portal, and would having some veteran guys around a young player like Bryce benefit him in his development too?
Yeah, I think depth at every position is what we want. So, that's definitely a conversation we've had, and we'll just continue to evaluate that as we go.
And will the flag from this year be put in the museum?
So I told the team yesterday, we're not going to plant any flags. We're going to go celebrate with the team. But yeah, we'll put it right there.
Chris.
Do you have a timetable on the coordinator, and do you anticipate any other staff changes?
As far as the coordinator change, I'm going to take my time. I'll be in communication with our staff and players, whether, what that looks like, when that looks like. I'm already started that process, so I don't have an exact timetable. Want to do it as soon as possible, but I want to be very thorough with it. So taking my time day and night, do everything I can to get that process done. And then as far as other staff changes, we'll see as we go.
Okay. And then can I ask about the emphasis on the trenches in this recruiting class? Obviously, that's how you guys have built this program and won with this program, and how critical that was.
Huge, man, huge. You got to be big up front. You got to be violent. You got to be physical. So that was definitely an emphasis for us, and continued emphasis. Has to be that for you to win at the highest level as we've seen, and the teams that are playing in these championship weekends, they're great up front. So that's what we're going to continue to do.
Sorry, Dave. Is Rod Moore? Do you expect Rod Moore back next year?
We'll see. Having conversations, so we'll have an answer to that soon.
Sorry, I pulled an edge lead there.
Isaiah.
I have two on some of the defensive line guys. Nate Marshall, he was your first guy that committed after you became the head coach,
Yep.
goes to Auburn. And how did you get him back in the fold? And also Travis Moten being a late ad. What did you see in him? He's not a guy that's obviously got a lot of publicity.
Yeah. So Nate this recruiting game, it's constant. You're never losing contact with these kids. So I thought Lou did an outstanding job. He was always in contact with them, and he was always coming back to them. So, even when guys are committed, you still have to have that line of communication with them. Else, you stop recruiting them, somebody else is always recruiting them. So that, I don't know what happened on the other side, but we knew we were recruiting them all the time, and the relationship stuck, and we were able to get him back. And then Moten, man, he's a big, tall, athletic dude. I think he led the state of Kentucky in sacks, I think with like 20. So he's a super athletic dude, raw dude, but he's huge. He's taller than me, so all of 6'5", maybe 6'6", 290 pounds, quick, twitchy. So those are the type of guys that you want, and not a lot of publicity. Again, our recruiting staff did a really good job discovering him.
In front right here, Dennis.
You got a linebacker that announced today, NOB, I think is their initials.
Nate Owusu,
Yeah.
Botang.
Yeah,
Yep.
what's he bring to the table?
Great name, isn't it? Fast, physical, violent. Talk about a dude that's determined. He's told me, like, Coach, I want to be the leader of that defense. I am the leader of that defense, and he's everything you want in that position. Physical, fast, smart, tough. Very aware of everything. And his big thing was like our alumni and the people, like his family's from Ghana, and he wants to be around those people that have been successful not only in football but not in football from his country, and he wants to represent his country and do things for his country. So he's a neat kid. He's awesome, but he's a great player.
What about the other player from Belleville, Dotson?
Yeah.
You got on him late. You had to go kind of double back. And
Yeah,
talk about that relationship you built with him.
Yeah, it's just an outstanding kid. Like, a really good kid, hard worker, two-way player in the state, really good receiver too. One of Bryce's top targets actually. So, and he's talked to me about playing receiver. I've heard this go back and forth, but he's gonna be a really good safety, nickel. He could play those, but he'll start out at safety for us. And long, athletic, and loves to hit. Physical kid.
I pulled Chris, Earls, his dad's a military background. What did you like about him?
Shamari, man, just long, 6'2", 6'3". He's a verified track speed, athletic, physical. I mean, he's just everything you want. Silly kid, great personality, but he's what you want in the corner, especially with that length.
Well, I guess it's time to go to Angelique then.
I've got 5. Sherrone, how did Bryce tell you? I mean, was it in person that he was committing, and what was your reaction?
Phone call. Phone call. Kind of got the gist and been around him and kind of felt like it would happen, but phone call. So just extremely excited for that to happen, and all the hard work that we've done and the communication and relationship built. Felt like it was coming to that, but was really happy it came to place.
When will he, with bowl practices, the earlies can?
Yeah, he'll be here as fast. He wants to be here as fast as he can, so he can be here. I think in the next week, and start to do stuff. He just can't practice and do stuff with the team yet, so we'll do as much as we can from a compliance standpoint with him pretty soon.
Brady, what happened to him before the game, and what's his status?
Just lower body injury, and I'm not sure exactly where he's at in the recovery, but he'll be back.
Got it, Angelique?
No, I mean.
You said 5. That was only 3.
When did you ultimately decide you had to make a move at offensive coordinator?
I mean, after the game, just I took some time in here by myself and sat back and thought about just where we are as an offense, where we are as a program, what we need to do, and just felt like it was the best move for us.
Do you anticipate any other changes?
Oh, we'll see. Not right now, though.
Carlos?
Congrats on the class.
Thank you.
Just as far as whether it's Bryce or anybody else in your high-profile commitments, how crucial a role do you think that Ellison or any of the other people involved in the collective have played in helping you land these recruits?
I think in NIL, that's part of it today, but it can't be the main thing. But it's part of it. So again, just happy for all the support that we are getting, and that they're understanding that this is a different world, and that we do need that support. So just happy for everybody.
And just to follow up, how much do you welcome, I guess, the input from the people involved in the collective as far as helping the process of getting you better players, having communication with those people?
Yeah, I mean, there's communication, but they're pretty good about letting me evaluate and figure out the guys we want to get, and then just doing what they need to do to help us.
Is there any concern ever when you're talking about these kinds of reported numbers that are out there, 8 figures and such, that they may want to, I guess, exert a little bit of influence or have a little bit more input than normally boosters have had in the past? I mean,
they know what we do. They know how we've done it. They know exactly. They're just becoming a part of who we are, but they understand we've done this for a while and know how to evaluate the players and being the best fits here at University of Michigan. So, no.
On the right here, Aaron.
What are you looking for in your next coordinator?
Yeah, again, just balance. We want to be a balanced team. Still got to be able to run the football. That's got to be a thing you do. But someone that's going to develop the quarterback at a high rate and put them in a great position. And obviously, got to be able to teach a young guy. Whether he starts day 1, week 2, year 2, whatever it is, you got to develop them and you got to see the progress. So, but as far as what the offense will look like, that'll take shape as we go.
You want someone more experienced, or are you open to someone who's maybe on the way up?
I mean, a little bit of there's both. There's guys that are both. There's guys that have done it. There's guys that have been head coaches. There's guys that have been coordinators. There's guys that are coordinators now that haven't done it as long. So there's a vast mix of group of guys. So we'll just keep chopping away and trying to find the best guy.
On the left, Anthony.
Yeah, Donovan Johnson, Jasper Parker. You guys, your running back room's going to look a lot different post Donovan and Kalel. Just what do they bring? What do you like about them?
Yeah, I mean, Donovan's a big back. He's big, strong, physical. Came off of a ACL last year, came back strong, feels good. Feel like he's going to be, he was one of the top backs in the country the year before he got hurt, and thought he was a dynamic player, and then continued to get better and, start to progress, and you could see the progression now. So he's going to be a good player for us. And Jasper, again, another guy under-recruited, but, he came to our barbecue at the Big House, and, you talk about a kid who's dynamic, who's got ability. He's rushed for, I think, 1,500 yards already this year. He's got like 300 yards receiving, but he's got great hands. He's eerily similar to Donovan, long strider, quick off the ground feet, great hands, so really good player.
And right here, Andrew.
Yeah, only two. But as far as what is your concern level or plan, I guess, for managing the height with Bryce? He's already generating a lot of highlights, a lot of buzz. He's never even been on college yet.
Yeah, I think for him it's about the work and continue to, start over. The process of how you got to where you got to, you worked to get there. It didn't just happen. So for him, he's going to have to work. He's going to have to put the work in, day out. And I think his mentality, I think his family, how he's been brought up, I think that's going to play a huge role into it and who he is. And there's not going to be a humbling session, because the kid is very humble. Like, the kid wants to be good, and the kid knows it takes work to be good. It's not just going to happen. So he wants to be pushed, and he will be.
And then can you speak to the timeline of like signing day right now and entering the transfer portal period versus last year where you played all the way till, January 8th or whatever?
Yeah, you'd like to be playing. So regardless, you would like to be playing, and you'd handle it either way. But, right now we're in this situation. So, yeah, we're just taking our time and, being extra thorough, because we have the extra time, because we're not game planning of all the things that we have to do. So whether it's the portal, whether it's making sure we secure in our class, and then you got to start in the 26 class, all right? So that starts now. So, right, when we get all these guys signed, you start on the 26 class. You start, the communication with them's already started, but you keep recruiting them too. So it's that in the portal and filling the needs that you fill.
Charlie?
Sherrone, you mentioned that the vibes are high right now, but a few weeks ago we were here asking you very different questions about recruiting. Was there a moment where you think things started to click, or was this the outcome you always expected?
Yeah, I don't know if there was really a moment where it clicked. It just kind of, it's just the mindset we have is that we're just going to get better, and then we get a commitment, then we get this, then we play really well, but we practiced really well, and then all of these things start to happen. So the man upstairs has a lot to do with it. So I got been in my prayer book a lot, so maybe that helped a little extra. But he's, it's been a great couple weeks, and but we got to now prepare for the next step. You get these kids here that we get here, and we got to work. It's not automatically going to happen, and get ready for whatever bowl game we get to, and go try to win it, and then propel ourselves in the off season.
And obviously the cycle's not fully over, but is there something that being the full-time head coach has taught you about recruiting that maybe you didn't see as a coordinator?
Didn't really teach me, but I just know that it's nonstop. It's constant, and it used to just be with the offensive players. Now it's the offensive and defensive and special teams players and their parents and their families, and so it's not nothing that it's taught me, but more so like, it's you got to turn it on, and really you got to sometimes initiate that turn on and do it yourself a little bit more than you think you do. So they're not always calling you, because they got other people calling you. So sometimes you got to do the calling, and sometimes you got to reach out more so than you ever have. And you learn as the head coach, when you call them, it means a little bit more than when the coordinator calls them. So try to do that as much as I can.
Ryan?
Going to the defensive side of the ball in this class, it seems like a lot of guys have a lot of versatility. Where do you expect them to, especially in the secondary and up front, where do you expect them to start practicing at position-wise?
Yeah, as you go down the list, the D-line, there's guys that can play inside, there's guys that can play outside. Moten's probably an inside guy because he's 290 pounds and he's 6'5", but you never know. Benny Patterson can kind of play different places. The guys in the back end, they can kind of shift all around, but probably like Shamari and Jaden will start out at corner. Elijah, Kainoa, Jordan Young will start at safety, nickel, and then you'll move around and put the best guys wherever they need to be. Like a guy like Zeke Berry's been a safety, and then he's playing corner. So wherever the best players can play, we're going to put them.
Got time for a few more. We'll start with Reiner.
Yeah, how much did the struggles early on this year kind of clarify the purpose and maybe create a sense of urgency that even maybe influenced, again, some of this NIL support and, you know, kind of got the ball rolling? I mean, it seemed like the recruiting class obviously really picked up steam this
Yeah, I don't think any of the struggles or losses had anything to do with us trying to recruit really good. That's what we're going to do. At Michigan, I said that from the beginning, so that had zero to do with anything trying to recruit good, because we knew that we were going to lose people and we wanted to recruit good, so that's what we did.
I know, but so you don't think that, you know, based on what the quarterback play was early on, I mean, it didn't, you know, kind of expedite the push to kind of get somebody of the quality of Underwood?
Nope.
Yeah. And then as far as what Underwood does for recruiting an offensive coordinator, how much does it make it more attractive?
Nice. See, a positive question. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I guess it probably helps, but I think wanting to come to Michigan means a lot. This place is pretty special, so yeah, they would want to have Bryce Underwood. They'd want to have great quarterbacks, but being here, just a mecca. So I think they want to come here.
Isaiah?
As a fellow Kansas offensive lineman,
Yes.
how much did it help to be able to go into the living room with Andrew Babalola, and where's his ceiling? Like, how good can he be?
Man, he could be a first-round draft pick. He's got all the skills because he's got the size. He's probably 285 right now, which is good. You don't want him too big, and he could easily be 310 like that. But he's got great ankle flexibility, great hip flexibility. He's strong. But it's always like with the linemen, you never really know until they get here. But he's got ability to do it. He can be as good as any guy that's played here. He's got that ability. He's that smart. He loves the game that much. Yeah, he's an awesome fit. He's a great player, but he's an outstanding kid. So yeah, high ceiling. So we'll see when he gets here. He'll be here early too.
We're gonna finish with Dennis and then Chris.
What's your approach when it comes to the bowl practices and guys that are coming back or guys that are not, to try to maybe get a look at some guys that maybe didn't play in the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, we want all the guys to play in the bowl that want to play in a bowl, and obviously there'll be guys that'll say, hey, I want to go train and do this, and love you. You've done a lot for the University of Michigan. I'm not going to be mad at you. And it'll just give opportunities for those young guys to play. And we're definitely going to put the best plans together to go win. So want all the best players to play, but it's going to give us a great opportunity to have some young guys play and do some things. And I'm excited about these young guys. I'm excited about the freshman class. I'm excited about a lot of the guys that have played and been able to play in spots but now get some full-time roles. So it's going to be fun to watch.
You give a word on Owens, the kid from Nashville, Eli Owens.
Eli? Yeah. He's awesome. Talk about a spunk of energy. He's like a mini Max. He's like a mini Max Bredesen. Wears the same number and everything. He's probably going to follow him around when he's here because I think he gets here early too. So, but he's a great athlete. Played offense, played defense. Was also a soccer goalie. So like he's a super athlete, but a great kid.
Do you know how many guys are coming in early?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 guys.
They all gonna practice for bowl?
Yeah. Yep.
That's my question here.
So you don't get
No.
No.
Max, is Max going to come back then next year, do you think?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
The portal, obviously, we've seen the in and out already. Do you have the specific numbers? Do you guys have your plan in terms of who's going and who's coming?
Yeah, we have a good plan, and it's naturally going to happen because of the 105. Right. So, like, the portal's going to be the craziest it's ever been right now because everybody that's over that number is going to have guys. You're going to have attrition. So that's just going to happen naturally. And sure, there's going to be guys at some point that, they know you're going, okay. But, like, you're going to have to be ready to replace and do those things. That's just going to be part of, every school is going to have to deal with it if they're over the 105 number anyway.
Does NIL make those decisions easier? Is it different? Is it more like a professional sport where you have to make some tough decisions and say, hey, we can't bring you back? Or does the money kind of determine that?
No, the money is, it's really just the spots. Because, like, when you're over number, you got to, and sometimes you don't want to tell guys they got to leave, but they have to because of the number. So that's the hard thing with what's been done now with the roster limit, and especially at this time, making it a hard you're done at 105 right now. You know, because you got to tell walk-ons and scholarship guys, you know, they got to leave and find another place. But try to help them as much as we can because you don't want anybody just out there. So, you know, the big thing is, you know, being able to give them a cushion because the 105 really doesn't start till fall. So give them a cushion till then.
And is Kasula going to call the plays in the bowl game?
Yeah, Steve will call plays in the bowl game.
Plays coach. Good coach. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Nice, appreciate it.
You had a good idea.